Hi there, everybody. Brian here from quantlabs.net, talking to you on September 11th, 1:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So today I want to talk about, I visited yesterday the Canadian Mint. There's two in Canada, one in Ottawa, which I went to, and the other one in Winnipeg. Now, a couple of things I want to tell you about what I learned from these. They do tours. Here at the Ottawa, the security is very, very tight. No photos allowed, and so on so forth. But what they do is they do actually mint gold coins, silver coins, some palladium on order for investment. And just wanted to tell you more about it. So you can do these tours here. I try my best to get as much detailed information I could out of the tour guide concerning gold and supply of both gold and silver, because the price has gone up quite a bit over the last month or so because of the uncertainty in the markets, as well as debts taking control. And there's another issue that I want to talk about excuse me, that's kind of important to talk about and address that a lot of people don't seem to know. So, as I said, they do a variety of different kinds of coins. There's decorative ones and whatnot. Some of them do go up in value if they're limited edition or celebrity type of coins. So they do have some value. But at the end of the day, I guess it's a safe way for small people like us, regular Joes, to save money and put it in the gold. But I just want to talk about gold and precious metals like silver. A few weeks ago, I put up one of my reports showing how palladium and silver have just suddenly exploded in value, where they were outperforming gold for a day or so. But as a result, they have come off because of the market. So obviously there is a indirect relationship between the markets and the price of gold, silver. So for Canada in the mint here is that Canada is looked upon as a world leader in minting. They do provide physical gold, other coins for a lot of countries that are contracted out via their Winnipeg location, and they produce a lot of coins. This mint in particular out of Ottawa does do, as I said, coins for investment purposes and specialized maybe for the Olympics or military or royalty sort of thing. But there was a theft a while back where a bunch of trucks went missing. This is one of the situations where everybody does get a detection for metal detectors they go through. So this guy got busted for trying to ram up gold. What do they call them? Gold something or other up his rear end, and get gold pucks. He kept getting the security detectors to keep going off. So he was the most this employee here created most alarms. So let's talk about something that's very, very important that we as small investors need to understand. Is something called bail-ins. Now, bail-ins are a rescuing financial institution on the brink of failure. What pisses me off about this is when it comes to your bank making millions of dollars, not off you, but off of people like us via mortgages or whatever else through interest or service fees and billions of dollars. Do you get anything back for it? Of course not. But if they do fail or close to failing, the government will step in and basically take money out of your accounts to help keep these financial institutions alive. So I want to show you that this is a legitimate, it's not some conspiracy theory. So this is the CDIC of Canada. This is the Canadian institution to ensure bank accounts. So there's an article here about it, about how certain savings will be affected when it comes to bail-ins. Most G7 countries will have this. So here is long-term what is included when it comes to bail-ins. Long-term unsecured senior debt that's tradable, transferable. Not sure if this is another way of saying stock. Preferred shares and subordinate debt eligible for bail-in conversion. And then bail-in is not retroactive. But what is excluded, which is good news, at least in Canada, are your deposits like checking, savings, so they should be untouched. Secured liabilities, government-issued bonds. Today, Trump wants to go negative on the Fed. So obviously, I don't know if you call that covered bonds because no one's going to guarantee that payment down the line when the bond matures. So it brings back basically a level of paranoia, I guess you could say, and build a lack of confidence in the U.S. government paying its bills because they want to go negative to reduce their debt. Now, for those that don't know this, there is something called the USA financial debt clock in real time. I've shown this before. Let me just pull up a search engine here. Okay, USA financial debt clock right here in real time. So this does exist. You can see here, $22.5 trillion is nothing to sneeze at in what the U.S. government owes. So again, you call that covered bonds when they go negative. The logic that Trump wants to talk about is that it reduces their debt over the long run. Yeah, but screw the grandma and grandpa savings to keep them going, or screw financial institutions and a whole pile of other things that turn the whole financial system upside down. But coming from Trump, that is just something I would never thought would be possible. So what's excluded again? Derivatives, contracts, and structured ones. So, that is excluded from a bail-in. So here's your typical site that would probably try to get you in a panic about when it comes to, you should own gold. And that comes back to, well, I'm in a mint here in the Canadian Mint in Ottawa, is what led to this topic here. So I'm not sure if a lot of people know, but Russia, China are storing gold in their central banks for a reason. When they know that everything does go negative, which it pretty well is, even in Germany, they need something to hedge their bets. So when their interest rates start suddenly go negative, the bonds, which up until last week were entirely upside down and inverted, meaning they were negative. So people do get wiped out because of this. Also, just to prove some of the stories that they saw this coming, namely Germany, this is what they wanted. They want their gold back in their own reserves. So they went out and demanded the French, the U.S., Britain, and London to release their gold and get it physically stored back in Frankfurt. And this article was 2013, so they knew what was coming. And again, this is a legitimate website source, Reuters, just to show you that they knew what was happening 6 years ago. Now, even in the U.S., we need to be concerned here as well, because let me just see if I can find the story here. Oh, here it is. So even Texas, good old Texas, don't mess with Texas, the independent Texas, want their gold back. So this came out last year, back when the U.S. government was faced with the same thing in 1800s or early 1900s. The federal government wanted all gold taken out of people's homes, and they forced that on Texans that did have physical gold in their homes, and the federal government came along and stole it. So the state of Texas said, nope, that ain't going to happen again. and even Texas wants its gold back from the federal depository because they know what's coming. On top of that, they allow citizens of Texas to store their own gold. So we know that these things are happening, and when you come back to the mint, questions like I raise, where does Canada's gold come from? Well, fortunately for us, even though gold and silver is a where gold, we do have deposits of gold. I think we're the 5th largest supplier of gold worldwide. Where does gold come from in Canada? So there's a variety of places where gold does come from, and namely what I was told by this tour guide was that it's coming out of Ontario and Quebec. And as the price of gold goes up, so does mining or exploration for gold as well. So a lot of it is coming out of Ontario, Quebec. So there's quite a bit as well. So that's where the gold and silver comes from within Canada. So we're lucky to have our own supply. Most countries don't. So will they run out? The tour guide did not say. I'm sure they know. There's got to be a timeline when they project when gold will physically run out. They're very secretive on their security, or they keep some of these, obviously, these tour guides, which either are curious that would not have an interest in this topic. I do, because when the gold supply globally does run out, it's a finite supply. And with all these uncertainties happening in the markets, and with people's savings, in fact, gold will definitely at some point have to shoot up based on supply and demand. But there's another solution here. Let me just show you at my site here, quantlabs.net. What I do think is going to start happening if you come into the store, things will, like cryptocurrency, will come along and start to help build value in a virtual currency like a Bitcoin or whatnot. And one of the ways is to keep yourself generating cash, even though we have all these uncertainties. I just put up a video on this. Algo trading will help at least sustain yourself if you're able to produce positive trading results each day and every day with cryptocurrencies, depending upon what crypto exchange you go with. And the other good thing is you don't need a lot of leverage as well. But that's a solution that I'm looking at and providing with live signaling in my analytics. But you can always come to the store, click off any of the topics or services that I have to help you out. So gold will be going up, and it has been going up, as you know. And there's all these other unknown factors that people don't know about to protect their savings and investments. As pretty well the whole world, all the bonds start to go negative, and this has not happened in probably 100 years. So where will it go economically? Where will it go when it comes to people's jobs and careers? And we haven't factored in automation as well. So people are looking for other side income to help them sustain themselves, and this is one of them. So hopefully this will help you out on what I learned from the Ottawa Mint in Canada on gold, silver, and I'll put these links up on my blog as well. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. Bye.